Hello, it's Bio here from the Instant Offline Guru Academy, and I'd like to welcome you to this brief implementation guide on how to make $10,000 a month extra income. Now, before I get started, I'm going to assume that this is something you'd want to do anyway, and I also want to assure you that it's not hype, it's not BS, it's not over the top information and recommendations. This is just honest to goodness, down to earth. Um, my recommendation for what you need to do to generate an additional $10,000 a month, and I'm actually going to give you an example from what I do as well, so you can actually see and understand what's possible for you. And you don't need any ninja capabilities to do this, by the way, anyway. Okay, we've agreed that you do want to know how to make an extra $10,000 a month. Okay, that's without saying. But have you ever considered that you don't have to have a one-on-one relationship in order to make that happen? And what I mean by this is, well, actually, I'll get to in a minute. Let's answer the question. Have you ever considered adding what I call a strategic byproduct to your offline consulting? Now, if you don't know what a strategic byproduct is, I'm going to explain what that is in a moment. But if you do want to get to $10,000 to $20,000 a month in extra income as an offline consultant, irrespective of where you might be right now, you've got to consider adding a strategic byproduct to your offline consulting. And the good thing is you don't need to be a guru, you don't need to have any advanced knowledge to make this happen, and I'll give you some pointers for what you need to do. Now you might be thinking, hang on a moment, Bio, if this is that easy, if it's that easy, why aren't people doing this, and why haven't I heard of this before? Well, I don't need a situation. If I was working with you one-on-one, I'd probably be able to answer that question. But right now, in all honesty, I can't tell you. But as we work through these examples, you might get a feeling for why more people aren't doing it, why you are not doing it. So when I say why aren't you doing it, I mean why aren't you, the listener, doing it? And I'm going to give you 13 reasons to be precise. So let's look into how to create an additional $10,000 every month like clockwork. So what is a secret? Well, the first part of the secret is that you need to create something you can sell to business owners on a regular basis. And when I say something you can sell to business owners on a regular basis, I don't mean the normal standard bread and butter stuff that you do for local business owners, like fan page creation, um, like apps, like mobile websites. I don't mean those things. What I mean is that it's got to be something that doesn't require your input on a one-on-one basis. So in other words, when you get the right byproduct, and I've created many strategic byproducts for many offline consultants, many of them are in full-time employment, some of them are taking care of kids at home, some of them have been laid off from work, some of them are actually students, but the thing they all have in common is that these byproducts don't require their input on a one-on-one basis, and that's what I mean by a strategic byproduct. Well, let me one of my examples, just from one of my examples, which I'll share in a moment, it leads to additional sales of other services and products, such as actual coaching with business owners, which is highly lucrative, by the way, and absolutely nobody's talking about this in offline consulting. I wonder why. Well, I do know why. Everyone's focusing on the wrong things. But if you can refocus what you're doing, or reconfigure what you're doing, and make some adjustments, and you can be seen as coaching or mentoring business owners, trust me, there's a lot of money to be made there. But basically, my strategic byproducts, they lead to sales, additional sales of other services and products as well. And then I also get income, which it'll happen for you as well when you set this up correctly, from referrals from other people. So these aren't, internet marketing forum affiliates who are going to get something like $3.95 or $10 for selling a product. I'm talking of people that when they sell what they're selling, they get an additional 40, 50, $100, maybe $200 for these sales. It really depends on their affinity with certain target markets that I'm going after, or where they're making these products available. Okay, so why aren't people doing this? Well, I'm going to give you 13 reasons why people aren't doing this, and probably you'll identify why you're not doing this as well. The first thing is a lack of exposure to this type of thinking. It's thinking outside the box, as they traditionally say. It's not doing what everyone else is doing, and it just takes focus, which a lot of people unfortunately just do not have. People aren't doing this because they're getting advice from the wrong people, advice from people who've never owned a business. And if you know my story, you know that back in the mid 90s, I started out with no knowledge, no experience. I got advice from the wrong people. I failed 3 times in business, but since then it's been highly successful in terms of what I've done. And I know for sure that if you get advice from the wrong people, you're limited in what you can think and do. Too many people are trying to learn offline consulting through ebooks, free webinars, and free calls that seem to be everywhere these days. I mean, if you're like the average person who's involved in IM, internet marketing, you get inundated every single day, apart from the products, with join my free webinar. My friend ZZZ is running this. You get them every single day. I don't do that, by the way. Um, but that's my business model, and I just think it's a lot more profitable. But people are trying to learn through ebooks, free webinars, or free teleseminars, and it's just not doesn't lend itself to this way of strategically thinking. Um, People are spending too much money and time on the technical side of things. For instance, how to customize mobile websites, learning how to create WordPress plugins that you go and offer again in some forum. You're not offering them to business owners, by the way, in some forum for $10, and it gets shared all over the place. Come on, we know how these things work. This is another reason why people aren't doing this. Also, people are focusing on how to be a better offline consultant instead of a better all-round business person. Now, let me put a wrap around that statement. It is good to become a better offline consultant, okay, but you shouldn't invest or spend too much of your time trying to figure out how to become a better offline consultant instead of a better all-round business person, because offline consulting is ultimately about creating, running, and managing, and also building a profitable business. Strip away the word offline consulting and you're a business person, okay? Actually, I'm going to give you 13 reasons. Let me rush through these other ones just so we can get to the meat. There's too much attachment to ideas even when they aren't obviously working or selling. So you might have thought, well, I'm going to go into offline consulting. I'm going to sell websites. I'm going to sell Facebook marketing because of my background. I'm going to sell SEO. But if you've been trying that and it's not working for you as an individual, isn't it about time that you took a different approach, that you stepped back and reviewed what you were doing and gave it a hard and honest look? And by the way, that's what I'll do with you in the marketing makeover program. We're going to step back, we're going to look at your business from an objective standpoint to figure out what might not be working for you, but rather instead working against you. A next big one, number 7, is people don't have systems in place. Where they do have systems in place, they have too few systems or processes. So it's one thing to have a system, it's another thing to have a process. And I've also seen as well that as people have developed, they might have systems, they might have processes in place, but they don't work together. So your autoresponder just captures emails. It sends out 4 or 5, autoresponder messages automatically, but nothing happens. There is nothing in between those emails going out that lends itself to you actually talking to a business owner or actually following up with them to see if they receive the information. It's just haphazard. So you have a website, could be one system. Your website captures leads, could be another system and another process. You've got emails pre-written, that's another thing. You've got PLR content, that's something else. You're running local business webinars or local business teleseminars, that's another system you have there. But all of these systems are all over the place. Number 10, why people aren't doing this. People are stingy with their time. They don't want to do this. They've been told that hands-free works and you can create an offline consulting business that's totally hands-free. And a lack of willingness to invest time ties in well with a lack of willingness to invest effort. Which brings me to the third one, which is the biggest problem for many people, which is unwilling to invest money. And we've already spoken about this or touched on it in the other areas, so I'm not going to touch on it again. But let me tell you right now, and this may turn you off, this may make you never ever want to get an email from me, visit my site, follow me, or do anything. If you're not willing to invest your time, effort, and your money, you're not ready to actually build a real business. Now, I believe I have some of the best products and services available to help you, but that's a decision you need to make, and this isn't about products or services. But I'm telling you right now, if you fail to invest the right amount of time, effort, and money, you won't have a successful business. But on the other hand, if you do invest time, your effort, and your hard-earned money, you're making an investment in your future. Okay? So that's another reason why people aren't doing this. And you should be really investing your time, your effort, and your money to develop or buy and implement systems. And when I say buy, to develop or buy or implement, I basically mean you either invest your time, your effort, and get the tools you need to develop your own systems, or you go and buy and implement those systems from other sources. Okay? But you've got to be able to temper, to balance these things. Another reason, the 13th reason is, people just have a lack of marketing know-how and they hope that things will somehow change on their own. Well, guess what? It's not going to happen. And I know I said I'll share with you 13, but I like to strategically over-deliver. But if you lack marketing know-how and you're hoping things will change on their own and you're not treating what you're doing as a business, you're just going to get frustrated by a lack of obvious results. And so then what should you do if this is your situation? Because what I've described now didn't come out of thin air. It came from a long, quite a few years now of working with people who've been frustrated about their lack of results, people that have tried and failed, and people that have also wanted to take their business to the next level. So what are solutions that you can use? Well, if you've got the marketing know-how, yeah, then implement and learn as you make mistakes and correct them. So, that's it. The irony of this, let me share this with you. The irony is that we consider ourselves to be offline marketing consultants, and many of us don't know how to market our own businesses. Now, I actually believe it's bordering on dishonesty. How can you be a marketer that wants to go and show a business owner how to increase their visibility, grow their business, make more profits, increase their sales, increase their bottom line, and you don't know how to do that? I really don't know how it's going to happen. But if you've got the marketing know-how, one of the ways you can do this is just go and implement and learn as you make mistakes and then just correct those mistakes. The other way is you do what smart people do because it's cheaper to learn from the mistakes of others, which is basically buying into their experience. At the end of the day, it's really down to what you want to do. You can go the top, the first, take the first suggestion, learn, try out through trial and error, or you can actually do what smart people do. It's a lot cheaper because number one, they've made the mistakes. And if they're being honest with you, they'll tell you not only the good, but they'll tell you the downside, the things that don't actually work, so that you can avoid making those same mistakes. It's entirely up to you how you go about it. But at the end of the day, make sure that you take action on what you've discovered here. If not, it will have been a waste of my time and also a waste of your time too. Okay, in closing, I want you to know that you can do this. I've always believed that offline consulting is simple but not easy. So don't make it hard for you to make money. Don't make it hard for you as an offline consultant to go out there and serve business owners that are ready, willing, and able. Because another secret, business owners will pay for things that they value, even when they say they don't have any money. They will pay for things that give them business value, help them increase their bottom line, and help them increase their profits. So don't make it hard on yourself, and don't make it hard for business owners to do business with you. It's been Bio here, wishing you the best of luck.